A man came to Patanjali at dawn, when the sky was still dark blue, and the air held that particular silence before the world begins its noise. The seeker was young, perhaps 30 years old, but his face carried the exhaustion of someone who had not rested in months. His shoulders were tight, his breath was shallow. Even standing still, he seemed to be moving, as though invisible threads pulled him in a dozen directions at once. He bowed and spoke. "Master, I seek stillness, but the world never stops demanding. My duties multiply. People call for me. My mind races with 1,000 concerns. How do I find peace when the noise never ends?" Patanjali looked at him for a long moment, not at his words, but at the way he held his body, the way his eyes darted, the way his hands could not remain still. Then Patanjali said softly, "You ask how to silence the world, but the world has never made a sound." The seeker blinked. He opened his mouth to protest, then stopped. Patanjali continued, "The noise you speak of is not in the marketplace. It is not in the voices of those who call for you. It is not in your duties or your responsibilities. The disturbance lives in the mind's response to these things." He let the words settle, then spoke again. The mind has 5 movements, 5 modifications we call vritti: right knowledge, wrong knowledge, imagination, sleep, memory. These 5 create every experience you call noise. When someone calls your name, the sound is neutral, but the mind immediately moves. It imagines what they want. It remembers past demands. It constructs a story about what you must do. The noise is not the calling. The noise is the mind's movement. The seeker frowned. "So, my duties are not the problem?" "The duties exist," Patanjali said. "A field must be plowed. A child must be fed. A debt must be paid. These are facts. Your clinging to them as mine creates the turbulence." He gestured toward the river nearby, where the surface was beginning to catch the first light. "Look at the water. When it is still, it reflects the sky perfectly. You can see every star, every cloud, the exact shape of the moon. But when wind disturbs the surface, the reflection shatters into 1,000 pieces. The sky has not changed. The disturbance is in the water, not above it." The seeker stared at the river. "You believe you are the doer," Patanjali said. "You believe you are the one responsible, the one who must respond to every demand. This belief is the wind. It disturbs the surface. It creates waves where there could be stillness." "But if I do not respond," the seeker said slowly, "will my life not fall apart?" Patanjali smiled. "This is the cage, an invisible cage. You assume I must answer every call. You assume I am the one who holds everything together. And so you create bondage where none exists. The field will be plowed whether you suffer or not. The question is, will you plow from stillness or from the belief that your peace depends on the outcome?" The seeker was silent. The river continued its soft whispering. "The world makes demands," Patanjali said. "This is its nature, but the world does not demand that you lose yourself in the responding." "Master," the seeker said, his voice quieter now, "how do I practice this? How do I find this stillness you speak of?" Patanjali looked at him. "There are 2 wings to this practice. Without both, the bird cannot fly. The first is abhyasa. The second is vairagya." The seeker waited. "Abhyasa is not effort," Patanjali said. "It is returning, Like a river finding its course after the monsoon floods, you return to stillness again and again. Not because you have lost it, but because you have forgotten it. The practice is the remembering. He paused, letting the morning light grow stronger. Vairagya is not rejection. It is seeing clearly. You do not abandon your duties. You do not walk away from your life. You abandon the belief that your peace depends on their outcome. You see that the field will be plowed, the child will be fed, the debt will be paid, and none of it requires you to lose yourself in the doing. The seeker's brow furrowed. But how? The demands come faster than I can breathe. Imagine a chariot, Patanjali said. The senses are wild horses pulling in every direction. One horse smells food and lunges left. Another hears a sound and bolts right. Another sees movement and rears back. The mind is the reins. The witness is the charioteer, who does not fight the horses, but guides them with gentle, consistent direction. The seeker nodded slowly. A mother tends her child, Patanjali continued. The child cries in the night. The child needs food, needs comfort, needs attention. Does the mother abandon the child to find stillness? No. She tends the child from stillness. The action remains. The identification dissolves. She does not become the crying. She does not become the exhaustion. She remains herself, and from that place, she acts. But Master, the seeker said, when demands come faster than I can breathe, how do I practice? Patanjali's voice was soft but firm. You do not wait for silence to practice. You practice in the noise. That is why it is called practice. Each time you notice you are disturbed, you have already stepped back. The witness has awakened. That noticing is the practice. The seeker's eyes widened slightly. You will forget, Patanjali said. You will be swept away by the mind's movements 1,000 times in a single day. And 1,000 times you will remember. This is abhyasa, this is the path. Not perfection, not arrival, just returning, again and again. So the stillness is already here? The seeker whispered. It has never left, Patanjali replied. The sun had risen now, casting long shadows across the ground. The seeker sat down, and Patanjali sat beside him. Stillness is not the absence of activity, Patanjali said. It is the absence of identification with activity. You are the sky, not the clouds. Thoughts, duties, demands, they pass through. They do not touch what you are. The seeker looked up at the sky, where a few clouds drifted slowly. A lamp casts shadows on a wall, Patanjali continued. Hands form shapes. A bird flies. A demon rages. Lovers embrace and part. The wall remains untouched. You are the wall, not the shadows. The shadows play. The shadows must play. But you are not the shadows. How do I remember this? The seeker asked. When the world pulls, how do I return? Begin with one breath, Patanjali said. When the world pulls, return to the breath. Not to escape the world, but to remember what you are, beneath the world. The breath is always here. It does not argue, it does not demand. It simply is. In that simplicity, you find your own nature. The seeker breathed, once, twice. And if I forget, he asked, if the noise overwhelms me again? Patanjali smiled, a gentle smile that held no judgment. You will forget 10,000 times, and 10,000 times you will remember. This is abhyasa. This is the path. Do not fight the mind. Do not hate the noise. Observe it as you would observe a child learning to walk, with patience. with gentleness, with the certainty that stillness is your nature, not your achievement. The seeker closed his eyes. For a moment there was only the sound of the river, the warmth of the sun, the simple fact of breathing. Stillness is not created, Patanjali said quietly. It is uncovered by releasing the belief that you are the noise. The seeker opened his eyes and bowed deeply. So I do not need to escape the world to find peace, he said. You were never in the world, Patanjali replied. The world is in you. The seeker rose. His shoulders were no longer tight. His breath had deepened. The invisible threads that had pulled him in every direction seemed to have loosened, if not disappeared entirely. Today, Patanjali said, when the world demands, pause. One breath. Notice the space between the demand and your response. That space is freedom. The seeker walked into the rising sun, the world unchanged, but the relationship transformed.